Mr. Almog, I'm handing you what's been marked as Exhibit 4. And this is a document titled Unanimous Written Consent of Members of Green Tree Apartments, LLC, a Texas limited liability company. Is that correct?
Yes.
And if you look at page 2 of Exhibit 4, did you sign this? Is that your signature at the top?
Yes.
And do you remember what this document, what did it concern?
I think it's something related to selling the green tree complex.
Okay. And was this a written consent of the members to actually sell
To sell the complex?
well, to sell the property located at 6414 Adler Drive?
Yes.
And you agreed to sell the property, right?
Yes.
And this document, when did you execute this document?
What do you mean? When
When
I
did
signed
you,
it?
Yes, what was the date you signed it?
February 26,
Were you in the U.S. or Israel when you signed it?
Israel.
When the three businesses, Green Tree, Pattaya, and Glen Willow, were set up at various times, what was to be your role in those, for lack of a better term, for partnerships? What was to be your role?
What do you mean role?
What were you supposed to do?
In the business?
Yes.
I had to check the buildings that we wanted to buy and to decide which one is good and which one is not.
So you came over here and you inspected the buildings prior to them being purchased?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have any other role in the businesses?
No.
Did you have an agreement to come to the United States and participate in the business with any particularity?
No.
So you didn't commit to come over at least twice a year and work in the business?
No.
Were you paid for times when you actually came over and worked in the business?
Sometimes.
How much were you paid?
$250 a day.
A day. And when was the last time you came over and worked for any of the businesses?
Maybe 3 years ago.
2013?
Maybe, I don't remember.
When was the last time you received payment for any work at the businesses?
If it's 2013, maybe 2013.
My understanding was that you had committed to come over at least twice a year and to participate in the business, work in the business. Is that true or false?
False.
So you didn't have that agreement?
I didn't.
Okay. Did you indicate earlier that you said that what was the name of your ex-wife, did you say?
Sivan.
Sylvan?
Sivan.
Sivan. And you said you are divorced, right?
Yes.
And what was your involvement with the Eagle Creek property?
What Eagle Creek property?
Are you familiar with, was there an LLC called Eagle Creek in Florida?
Yes.
What was your... Eagle Creek Inc. Were you involved in that incorporated company?
No.
Did you have anything to do with that company?
What do you mean?
Well, were you involved in running the business?
No.
Did you take any losses associated with the business?
No.
Did you recommend that the three businesses, Green Tree, Pattaya, or Glen Willow, use losses associated with the Eagle Creek?
No.
Does your testimony today that you had no involvement or connection whatsoever with Eagle Creek?
No.
Let me make sure my question was good. Is it true that you had absolutely no connection or association with Eagle Creek?
No.
No, it's not true?
No, it's not true.
Okay. What was your connection or association with the Eagle Creek property?
What property?
Was Eagle Creek Corporation, are you aware of them taking out certain loans?
Yes.
And how are you aware of them taking out certain loans?
What do you mean with aware?
Well, what was the purpose of Eagle Creek Corporation?
I don't know.
You've never heard of it before?
On the purpose? No.
Okay. Well, who was running that corporation?
Mike?
And you don't know what the purpose was for?
No.
Did you have communications with Mike and Ofer regarding Eagle Creek and debt it may have had?
Yes.
Tell me about those communications that you had.
Eagle Creek had a loan that they didn't want to pay.
Okay.
And I sent email saying that if they don't pay it, don't come to charge me.
When did you send those emails that if they don't pay, don't come charge you?
Maybe 2008.
Okay. Did you actually say that you would be okay with a loss up to a certain amount?
Excuse me?
Yeah, did you say that you would accept a loss up to a certain amount in connection with Eagle Creek, but not above it?
Yes.
What did you tell us? What you said in that regard?
Eagle Creek bought a land,
Yes.
and I said I'm ready to lose what we paid, but no more.
Okay. And when you said what we paid, you're talking about you, Mike, and Ofer, right?
Mike paid, and he charged me for 1/3.
Okay. So you didn't have an ownership interest in the corporation, but you participated, correct?
I didn't participate. He just bought the land.
And charged you, and you ultimately paid 1/3 of it, did you not?
Yes,
Was that with your consent or without?
with.
And was Eagle Creek also responsible for 2 other mortgages in Florida?
To what?
Was Eagle Creek also responsible for 2 other mortgages, one in Texas and another in Florida?
I don't know.
You weren't aware of that?
No.
How much money did you put up in connection with Eagle Creek?
I didn't give Eagle Creek money. Just Mike charged me $100,000 for that land.
Okay, so Mike charged you $100,000 for
For a land?
the land,
Yes.
and what land was that you were charged $100,000 for?
Land in Florida?
Do you have an address?
No.
What happened to the land?
The bank took it,
So it was foreclosed on.
I guess.
Okay, now you were okay with your $100,000. You were okay with the $100,000 you were charged for this Eagle Creek and the loan in connection with the Florida property.
Yes.
At any time, did you talk to your brothers about opening up bank accounts in Costa Rica or other offshore places in order to avoid taxes?
No.
You never did that?
Not to avoid. Maybe I talked to them, but no.
So you may have talked to them about opening up accounts, offshore accounts or accounts in Costa Rica, but not to avoid taxes.
Yes.
When do you remember talking to your brothers about opening these offshore accounts?
I don't know.
Was it in writing or was it verbal?
I don't know.
I'm going to hand you what's been marked as Exhibit 5. And if you look at the top email string, can you tell us the date on that, sir?
January 22, 2014.
And this is an email from Mike, your brother, to you and to Ofer, correct?
Yes,
Is your email address almogcpa@gmail.com?
yes,
Do you have any other email addresses?
yes.
What are your other email addresses?
d@almogtax.com.
Do you have any other email accounts?
No,
Currently?
no,
Within the past year, have you had any other email accounts?
I don't think so.
Fair to say that Exhibit 5, you are requesting information regarding the operations of the three businesses, and Mike provided that information to you, correct?
Where do you see it?
Well, don't you say down here at the bottom, I see that the interest rate dropped sharply in all banks. You see that?
Yes,
Is that your statement?
yes,
Okay, do you see attachments right here? It's Glen Willow statement, Palermo statement, and RCH statement. Do you see that?
yes,
And would you have received that information?
I guess.
Okay. When you produced documents in this case, you produced a lot of documents, 500 and nearly 600 pages of documents, did you not?
Can you repeat?
Yes. You responded to requests for reduction in this case,
Yes.
right? And you produced nearly 600 pages of documents, correct?
Maybe.
A lot of them were bank statements, the company bank statements, correct?
I produced bank statement? That's what
Yes.
you say?
Yes. The
What
company's
bank
bank statements?
I produced?
Yes. Or you provided them to us in this lawsuit. Are you aware of that?
Bank statements?
Yes, bank statements.
What bank statements?
The Chase bank statements for the companies?
I don't know, maybe.
Well, do you know what information you were provided that's reflected on Exhibit 5? Do you know what these statements would be?
No,
No? Up until the end of 2014, were you provided with all the information you requested from your brothers?
yes,
Okay, so there were, up until the end of 2014, there was no information that you wanted that they refused to give you, correct?
I didn't need, I didn't ask them.
My question is, was there any information that you requested that you did not get up until December 2014?
Yes,
What information did you request that you did not get prior to December 2014?
no, I didn't say that.
Okay, so it's fair to say that you received all the information that you requested or wanted up until December 2014, you received.
Yes,
At any time, did you show up at the company's offices and ask to see the books and were turned away?
no,
What role did you play in preparing the tax returns for the businesses?
what do you mean what role? Mike did it.
Well, you had a CPA prepare the returns, did you not?
Yes, we had.
Okay, and did you provide information to the CPAs or to Mike or Ofer in connection with the preparation of the tax returns?
I don't think so.
I hand you what's been marked as Exhibit 6. And let's look at the email at the top. Can you tell us what the date on that email is?
June 6, 2014.
Can you tell us what the topic of this email is?
No topic.
Okay, well, what are you providing information to Ofer?
If I provide information,
Yes.
I don't know.
Well, this email, let's. let's go to the second page. Okay. Let me see that. Let me see that. I got a note on it, Eric. Can I have that one back for a second?
Is that from your production?
No. I'm going to withdraw Exhibit 6 for now. As you sit here today, can you tell us, in connection with Exhibit 1, how much money do you believe you're owed?
I told you I don't know yet.
Okay. Well, you at least contend you're owed a third of $50,000 and a third of $20,000, right?
Yes.
The $50,000 for fire damage related repairs, do you know if the repairs were made to the premises?
What is premises?
To the apartments that were burned? Were they repaired?
I don't know.
Do you know what the $50,000 was used for?
I don't know.
Why do you believe you're entitled to the $50,000 a third of the $50,000 from insurance proceeds?
Why not?
Why? Was the money payable to you personally, or was it payable to the company?
To the company.
Okay. So why do you believe you're entitled to a third?
Because if I sell my share, I get 1/3 of everything before I leave. The money in the bank from every money.
Do you know if this money was in the bank when you sold your shares?
If it was in the bank, I don't know.
Okay. So if it wasn't in the bank, if it had been used to repair the property, do you still think you're entitled to a third of it?
You don't get the money from the insurance before you repair the damage.
Do you know when they received the $50,000?
I do.
When?
I don't know exactly, but I do. The offer told me that they.
Okay. When do you believe they received? Do you think they received the $50,000 before or after March 23 of 2015?
I believe after.
So you believe they sold the property that had been damaged, and the check from the insurance company they kept themselves?
I don't know what they did with it.
Okay. When you had access to the bank accounts in April 2015, did you try to determine what they did with the $50,000?
I don't think they get it when I signed this agreement.
I understand, but after, when you had access to the bank accounts in April and May, did you
Yes.
try to determine what they did with this $50,000 payment from the insurance company?
What?
You can answer.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, my question is not whether you know, my question is, when you had access
Can you
to...
ask again?
Yes. When you had access to the bank records in April and May of 2015...
Yes. I didn't have access in May, only in April.
Okay. When you had access in April,
Yes.
did you try to determine what happened to the $50,000?
No.
Why not?
In April, I was studying for the bar. I didn't have time to eat, not to search for stealing money. I guess you know what's bar test.
So when did you take the bar exam?
In April, I think.
What day?
In the end of April.
The end of April you took it. How long was the exam?
A few hours.
So a few hours for one day?
What do you mean?
How long was the bar exam? How many days or hours or
A
weeks?
few hours.
Okay, a couple hours for one day.
Yes.
Now, you also indicated that you believe you're entitled to a third of $20,000 that had been paid for repairs. Is that correct?
Yes.
Where was it? What was the $20,000 from?
The buyer of the complex.
So the buyer of the complex paid money to repair the property?
No. They gave the buyer a check to repair something. Okay?
So you mean Mike and Ofer gave the buyer money to make repairs to the property?
Yes, and he should bring they didn't give him to him. He held 20,000 until he fixed something, and then he had to pay it back. Okay? So they said that when he pay back, I will get my third. Because if not, this money should be in a bank.
Well, I mean, you didn't draft Exhibit 1, did you, sir?
No?
It was drafted by somebody that Mike and Ofer hired, correct?
Yes.
And they emailed it to you in Israel, right?
Yes.
Why didn't they, if they had agreed to all this ahead of time, why didn't they include that in the agreement before they sent it to you?
Include what?
This agreement to pay a third of $50,000 or agreement to pay a third of $20,000?
It was only a negotiation. If you see in the end, look at the last one, you will see. I asked him to sign it and give it back to me. You can't read Hebrew, but they can.
Okay, what's the date on this email?
March 31st.
Okay. When did Mike and Ofer agree to pay you the 1/3 of $50,000 and the 1/3 of $20,000?
Before I signed it.
Before you signed this document?
Yes.
After you received and had the $358,000?
I don't remember, I guess.
Okay. Other than the $50,000 and the $20,000 that you believe you're owed a third of, are there any other amounts that you believe that you're entitled to in connection with the Green Tree Apartments?
I don't know yet. I have to check.
Well, do you know of any other amounts you're entitled to?
If I know, yes, I know.
I'm asking, do you know of any others as you
Yes,
sit
I
here
do.
today?
As now, I
Yes.
know, yes.
Okay, what other amounts do you know of that you're owed?
I know that Mike is paying his car from the account.
Okay. Is that through Green Tree?
Yes.
When you say paying his car,
His car lease.
okay. And when did he begin leasing? Okay. Who is the car titled in Mike's name?
I don't know.
Who owns the car, do you know?
No,
When was the lease taken out, do you know?
no.
When did you first learn of the lease?
When I got the access to the banks.
Was that in December 2014?
I guess in the end of December.
And is your testimony that prior to December 2014, you didn't know anything about the car lease?
No,
You did know something about it before December 2014 or did not?
I don't think I know anything about it.
Was it on any of the financial statements?
Explain, I don't understand.
Yes, the financial statements that you were provided over the years.
From the money Microsoft?
Microsoft money? Yes.
You ask if I saw car expenses?
Yes.
No,
You didn't see any?
no,
Is it listed on the company's balance sheet?
I don't know.
Is that not something that a CPA would look for?
The CPA wouldn't check on his brother.
A CPA didn't check on his brother.
Yes.
My question is, did you not notice the car lease in any of the financial documents you were provided?
Excuse me?
Yes. Did any of the financial documents that you were provided over the years provide any indication that there was a lease in place?
I don't think so.
He said, I don't think so.
Explain?
You need to keep your voice up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Are you aware of the company buying previous vehicles as opposed to leasing them?
If I'm aware that the company bought from the money of the company?
Yeah.
No?
So you're not aware of the businesses purchasing a vehicle prior to this current lease?
No?
When you looked at the money reports, did you not see payments for the purchase of a car or a car lease?
No?
Do you know if well, you did review the company tax returns before they were filed, did you not?
No?
You never reviewed the company's tax returns before they were
I
filed?
just reviewed Excel files or something like that.
Did you ever drive the car that was purchased by the company?
I know it's Mike's car, but I never knew that the company is own or pay for this car.
So you believe that was hidden from you?
Of course.
What other amounts do you believe were improperly withdrawn or from the accounts or charged against you?
I don't know yet.
So other than what we've talked about and the car lease, that's all you're aware of as you sit here today?
Here, you're talking about this?
I'm talking about Green Tree now.
Yeah, but about my conditions of the sale, that's what you say?
Well, let's go past the conditions of the sale. Is there anything else that you're aware of as you sit here today?
I know that he paid a mortgage up front, and he agreed to give me 1/3 of it
What mortgage?
for the building.
Who paid? Explain that, please.
I will. When I had to go out of the country, of the LLC, I had to get 1/3 of the money in the bank. Okay? But Mike paid the mortgage of January and December, so he reduced the money in the bank. And they said they will give it back to me.
Where'd they say that?
On the phone, that's why we added it.
How much was the mortgage payment?
I don't know.
It's not reflected in the bank statements that you have?
Okay, but I don't remember how much.
You didn't, are you here today? Are you going to ask the court to award you certain amounts of money in this case?
Excuse me?
Are you going to ask the court to award you money in this case?
Of course.
Okay, and you don't think that you need to show up and testify about the amounts you want to receive?
When you show me all the documents, I know exactly how much I need.
Okay, but you've got the bank statement, so you know how much the mortgage payment is, don't you?
I can know it, but I don't remember.
Okay, and so you didn't take the time to refresh yourself as to what your damage claim is in this matter?
I don't know.
Now you're talking about, you say, expenses.
Yes.
What expenses are you referring to?
Private expenses,
Okay, such as what?
car, restaurants, everything.
Anything else?
Expenses that paid in front. I mean,
Okay, well, you've had at least some of the credit card statements, have you not?
when?
Well, I looked at some of your counsel this morning. Do you not have any of the Citibank credit cards?
Some of them.
Okay. Have you gone through those credit cards to try to determine if there are any expenses in there that you believe should not have been paid on credit card?
I get it after I signed this paper, not before.
I don't care when you received them. Have you gone through the credit card statements to try to determine
I saw
amounts?
it yesterday. I saw it yesterday.
Let me finish my question, please.
Okay.
When did you receive the credit card statements?
Yesterday.
When did your lawyers receive them?
I don't know.
Was it in this lawsuit, or did you have them before the lawsuit was filed?
Excuse me?
Did you have the credit card statements before this lawsuit was filed?
Some of them.
Okay, and the ones that you've had access to, did you go through those to try to pinpoint any purported damages that you claim?
I looked at it, but I told you I have only a few documents that I need. I can't do anything with it.
Okay, so the documents that you saw, you didn't notice anything that you think?
I did.
Okay, what did you notice?
Private expenses,
Such as what?
restaurants, car expenses.
Okay, did you add them up?
Not yet, because when I see expenses that I don't see the invoice, I don't know if it's private or not.
So you noted certain expenses that were suspicious on the credit card statements, but you didn't add them up. Is that
No,
true?
I don't have all the information, yes.
Okay. Do you have any ballpark what you're talking about as far as expenses that you
The
believe?
what?
Do you have a ballpark estimate of expenses that you believe should be reimbursed?
What is ballpark?
Do you have an estimate of the expenses you believe should be reimbursed?
I don't know yet.
As it relates to Pattaya, do you believe you're owed any money in connection with Pattaya?
If I owe money?
No, sir. Are there amounts that you believe that your brothers, Mike and Ofer, owe you in connection with Pattaya LLC?
Yes.
How much?
I don't know yet.
Okay. What do those amounts relate to?
What do you mean?
Well, if you believe there are amounts you're owed in connection with Pattaya LLC, what do those amounts relate to, or what do you believe they might relate to?
As I said, private expenses and money that they take from the LLC,
Okay.
and they don't report to me.
Well, what money taken from the LLC?
Money they pay themselves.
Okay, and how much is that?
I don't know yet.
You have no idea what they paid themselves?
No.
You're an attorney, right?
Yes.
And you're a CPA, correct?
I said yes.
Your clients, you file tax returns in Israel, do you not?
Yes.
You pay attention to the numbers, don't you, for your clients?
Yes.
You're When's the tax filing deadline for individuals in Israel?
November.
how many personal returns did you file for customers in November 2015?
I don't know,
Give me an estimate.
50.
50? How many returns did you file on behalf of corporations in November? An estimate.
30.
Now, was there a $100,000 amount that you were believe you're entitled to in connection with Green Tree, such as a deposit or earnest money?
Yes,
Okay, can you explain that to us, please?
yes. The amount that you saw, the 388 that they gave me, reflects selling price of 2.4 million.
Okay.
The LLC received another 100,000.
When did the LLC receive another 100,000?
December and January, I think.
Okay. Is the $100,000 mentioned in Exhibit 1?
No,
So that $100,000 was not a condition of this sale of your membership interest,
it
correct?
is. It is.
Well,
We're saying final, we'll do the final accounting between us. That's part of it.
where does it say?
At the end,
Did you know when you signed this document you knew about the $100,000 that was paid in
yes,
December? Why didn't you specifically put that amount in here?
because we said we do the total accounting between us.
That wasn't expressed in this document though, was it?
What do you mean?
Exhibit 1, did you put that in Exhibit 1?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Would you read that to us, please?
Yes. In the end, a final settlement, you see? That's what it say.
And it's your testimony that you were including that $100,000?
What do you mean?
You were anticipating that the $100,000 payment was going to be part of this final settlement?
Yes,
Are you claiming a third of it?
yes.
Do you know what that $100,000 was used for?
No,
You're not aware that it was used to pay for repairs to the property that were required prior
that's
to
not
closing?
true.
Huh?
That's not true.
What is your understanding that the $100,000 was for?
I don't know.
How do you know there was $100,000 put up?
Mike told me.
So he just told you there was $100,000 put up?
Yes.
But he didn't tell you what it was for?
No.
You didn't see any documents in connection with it?
They sent me something, but if you see the email that the CPA sent me, you see the price change from 2.5 million to 2.4.
Okay.
That's it.
Hand you what's been marked as Exhibit 7. Actually, let me mark that as 6. Can you tell us what Exhibit 6 is?
It's an email from Ofer.
What's the date at the top?
August 30, 2014.
And this is an email actually from who? You said it's from Ofer?
Yes,
Okay. To you as well?
No, I'm sorry, it's from Mike.
Okay, it's from Mike to you and others, right?
Yes.
Who's a lead gen? Is that somebody in your office?
I don't know who is this.
Leijin?
I don't know who is this.
Okay. And did you review this email when it came in?
I guess.
Okay, and is this the, can you tell us, is attached to this Exhibit 6, is this a letter regarding the $100,000 in connection with the Adler Drive property?
I guess.
Can you tell us by looking at this, do you remember seeing this?
Maybe, yes.
Okay, and do you remember the sellers, the buyers advancing $100,000 to repair the property?
No, it was part of the sale.
Okay, is that what was reflected in these documents?
No.
Okay, do you have an understanding as to what these documents say?
Speak slowly, I don't understand.
Yes, do you have an understanding as to the meaning of the letter and the addendum attached as Exhibit 6?
What do you ask? If I know what is this?
Yes.
Yes, I know what is this.
Okay, what is it?
It said that 100,000 the buyer will pay for fixing the property.
And that was required, the property was required to be fixed prior to the sale, right?
I don't know.
Is that what the document says?
Yes, but I don't know if it's true.
Did you have a problem with the management fee paid to Mike Mizrachi?
Yes.
Okay, what was the management fee paid to Mr. Mizrachi in 2014?
It was 5,500, and then he asked to increase it to 8,000, or 4% of the rents.
Okay, and you had an issue with 4% of rents?
Yes,
Why?
because I thought it's too much.
Okay, do you know what other, did you do anything to investigate what other management companies charge?
Between 3 to 4%.
So what Mike was wanting to charge was in line with industry standards, would you say?
Say again?
Yes, the amount Mike Mizrachi was wanting to charge as a management fee was in line with what you understood the industry allowed.
The 3.5 to 4%, yes.
But you didn't want to pay the 4%, correct?
Right.
But you understand that if Mike and Ofer both voted to pay a management fee of 4%, they had the right to do that.
If they vote for real reason, not not against the interest of the company, yes.
Okay, do you have any reason to believe they were voting against the interest of the company to pay a 4% management fee?
4%, no.
Okay. Did they pay, so is it your testimony that you do not believe Mike and Ofer acted against the company's best interest in paying a 4% management fee?
4%, I agreed.
You agreed to 4%?
Yes.
Okay. Were there additional amounts you didn't agree to pay?
What? What amounts?
Were there other management fees that you did not agree to pay?
At that time, no.
At what time was that?
Later, they wanted to increase more, and I don't.
To what?
To what amount?
Yes.
They asked me to come for a board meeting, and when I asked for documents, they just voted whatever they wanted.
Well, did you show up for the board meeting?
I couldn't. I asked to present, but they didn't want me to be there.
Well, they invited you to come, did they not?
Yes, and I asked for documents for coming, and they just ignored me and decided what they wanted.
Okay, well, you had bank statements. You had all those bank statements prior to the board meeting, didn't you?
Bank statements, yes.
Okay, and you had, at least into December 2014, you had rent rolls, right?
Yes.
You could see the payroll when you logged in as of December 2014,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Okay, so what amounts did you want, what documents did you want to see before attending the board meeting?
I don't remember. You can see it in my reply to the invitation.
You don't remember as you sit here now?
Excuse me?
You don't remember as you sit here today what documents you think you needed?
No.
You didn't want to show up to the board meeting or the member meeting and express that in person to your brothers?
I asked to come
Okay, why didn't you come?
because they ignore my email.
What? Well, your email said you're not going to show up until they provide you with documents, right?
Yes.
It didn't say, they didn't deny you the ability to come and show up at the meeting, did they?
Yeah, but why would I fly 20 hours if you don't give me information? How can I vote?
Well,
They block me for voting.
well, you could have walked in the office and asked to see documents, couldn't you?
I asked a few times through lawyers and didn't get it. So you think I just can walk to the office?
Did you ever request it?
I did. I sent a few demand letters.
Okay. Okay. When you filed the lawsuit in this case, did you have an opportunity to review the petition prior to it being filed?
Yes.
How much in attorney's fees have you paid to date in connection with this lawsuit?
Can I say?
Yeah.
I guess 50, 60,000.
Is that in connection with this lawsuit or the prior lawsuit?
This one,
How much did you pay in connection with the prior lawsuit?
maybe 25.
Is that part of the 50 to 60?
No?
What documents do you believe, well, other than the documents we discussed earlier, are there any documents you believe you need to perform a full accounting?
Other than what I asked,
Yes.
I think I will need the insurance policies too, and I guess Eric will send you anything else he needs.
You said insurance?
The insurance, policies.
Okay. I'm going to hand you what's been marked as Exhibit 7. Eric, Exhibit 7, for purposes of this, it does not have the exhibits attached that you attach to the petition. And just wanted to make you aware of that before I question him about it. I don't think they're relevant to what I'll be asking. But I do have them if you believe they are.
Before we start, can I go to the restaurant for a minute?
Yes, sir?
We are back on the record at 12:40.
Mr. Almog, I just handed you what's been marked as Exhibit 8.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen this document before?
Yes,
Can you tell us what the date on this document is?
May 6, 2015.
And this was notice that there was going to be a meeting for Pattaya LLC and Glen Willow LLC members, and the meeting was going to be on May 8th of 2015, correct?
Yes,
And is this the meeting that you were contending earlier that you were blocked from attending?
yes.
Now, when this, you did receive Exhibit 8, did you not?
Yes,
And did you respond to Exhibit 8?
yes,
And what's been marked as Exhibit 9, and ask, is this your response to Exhibit 8?
yes.
And what's the date on Exhibit 9?
May 10, 15.
And you drafted this document yourself?
Yes,
And you sent it to Mike and Ofer, correct?
yes,
And you question them about, number one, you say, according to what members' agreement are we voting? Do you see
Yes.
that, sir?
yes,
Did you believe as a lawyer that they needed a members' agreement to be voting?
say it again,
Yes, you say, according to what members' agreement are we voting?
right?
What did you mean by that?
If we have members' agreement, I know to see what is said.
Is it your understanding that a members' agreement was needed to actually vote?
I think yes.
What is your knowledge based on?
I don't know the rules here.
So you don't know whether or not a membership agreement is needed to actually have a vote of the members?
No,
Did you testify that you only saw one operating or company agreement? Is that what you said earlier?
they sent something unsigned to my former lawyer.
Okay. Do you know if there were any loans taken out in Pattaya's name?
Yes, mortgage.
Okay. And there's a mortgage with Pattaya?
Yes,
Is there one with Glen Willow?
yes.
Okay. What documents are you aware of what documents are generally provided a bank when you're seeking a loan?
No,
You're not aware of that?
no,
Have you ever applied for a loan?
no,
You don't have any type of mortgage, or
no.
you've never had a mortgage?
In the U.S.?
Anywhere?
Oh, in Israel, yes.
Yeah, what type of documents do you have to provide in Israel to get a mortgage?
Bank statements.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
What if you were applying for an LLC like we have in this case? What would you have to provide the bank?
We don't have LLC in Israel.
Okay. Do you have corporations in Israel?
Yes.
What type of documents would a corporation have to provide a bank in order to get a loan?
I don't know how to say it in English. You have to perform the form of, how we say it, when you establish a company, you have a form with the number of the company.
You have to provide the formation documents.
Yes. And the rights to sign.
Do you have a bank account in the United States?
Yes,
Where's the bank account?
Florida.
In Florida?
Yes.
You don't need a social security number to get a bank account?
No.
You can get one with an individual. Is it your individual name?
Yes.
You can get an individual. You can open up a bank account with just a tax ID number.
I think.
Number two, you say, I've been asking for the accounting LLC documents and financial reports for months, but you refuse to give it to me. Do you see that?
Mhm.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. What accounting documents were you asking for?
Invoices, paychecks, everything that my lawyer demanded and we didn't get.
Well, you got bank statements, right?
Only bank statements.
Okay. And at least through the end of December 2014, you had access to rent rolls, right?
Yes.
You were provided with financial reports prior to this meeting, were you not?
I think until March I got, or April maybe.
In March or April, you received the company's financial statements, did you not?
Yes, that Mike prepared.
Okay. Do you know of any financial statements the company has that Mike doesn't prepare?
What do you mean?
Well, are you aware of the company having their books audited by an independent auditor
Once a year.
once a year? And when was that done last?
Only when they make the tax return. The whole year nobody is checking on him.
So are you saying that the tax preparer audits the books prior to preparing the taxes?
I guess.
Well, is that something, do you audit when you go to file a tax return for an individual or a corporation, do you audit their books prior to filing the return?
In Israel,
Yes.
it's different than here. I get all the invoices and I check.
So when you said, though, that it's audited, the books are audited once a year, you mean if the CPA that prepares the taxes audits the books, that's who's auditing it?
Yes.
Okay. Did you request that you did request that the CPA provide you documents, did you not?
No, I asked the tax returns.
You asked for tax returns?
Yes.
And you got them?
Yes.
Did you ask for worksheets and supporting documentation?
No.
Why not?
I didn't need.
Well, I thought you did need them.
No, I needed to see invoices and to check. I'm not the accountant in this LLC.
Well, if you believe the CPA is going to audit the company's books, wouldn't the CPA need these invoices too?
I guess.
Okay, why didn't you ask the CPA for the invoices?
I don't know.
And you asked the CPA for tax returns and she gave them to you, right?
She gave me to.
But you didn't think to ask for invoices or any other documents you claim you needed?
No, not from the CPA.
Number three, you say you cannot vote for anything without knowing the LLC's financial condition. Do you see that?
Yes.
And you knew the financial condition from the financial statements you were provided in March and April of 2015, correct?
Not all. I saw only the bank statement. And
I thought you testified a minute ago that you were provided financial statements by Mike, provided you accounting and financial.
yes, his numbers. Right.
Okay. What other numbers would there be in February and March?
I wanted to audit the numbers. That's
Okay.
it.
Did you ask to audit the numbers?
Yes.
Was that in writing?
Yes.
Okay. And was that a letter from you or from your lawyers?
Both.
Did you specifically say audit or did you just ask for certain documents?
Audit.
Do you remember when you sent that
No.
letter or email?
No.
And what was Mike and Ofer's response to your request to audit the company's books?
They ignored me.
So they just didn't respond at all?
You was talking about this one?
Well, this is not, is this where you're requesting to audit the company's
No, I
books?
asked before.
Okay, when was that?
A few times.
Okay, do you remember any specific examples?
Between December and April, I asked a few times.
Okay, and do you remember, I guess that's my question, did you ask to audit the books or did you just ask for the production of certain documents from the
I
company?
just said I asked to audit the books.
Okay. But you didn't receive a response, one way or the other, from Mike or Ofer?
No.
When you sent this letter as of May 10 of 2015, I mean, you were in possession of the $389,000, weren't you?
Yes.
Okay, where's the $389,000 today?
In my bank.
In Israel?
No.
In the U.S.?
Yes.
It's in Florida?
Yes.
What bank is it with in Florida?
Chase.
Is the entire $389,000 intact, or has any of it been spent, or is it all there?
It's all there.
You indicate number 4 on Exhibit 9, you say, you did not call a board meeting before you decided to sell a complex for drawing hundreds of thousands from banks without noticing me and blocking my access to records so I cannot see it. Is that correct?
Yes.
When you wrote this letter, you had access to the company's books and records, did you not?
No, they blocked me again.
Okay, when did they block you?
The end of April or maybe the beginning of May.
Okay, so for 2 weeks before this letter went out, you had been blocked, right?
Yes.
But for the month or so before that, you had full access to the company's
Yes.
records, correct?
Yes.
And you knew that the Green Tree asset at the Adler Drive property, you knew it was being sold and you consented to it being sold, did you not?
Yes.
When you say in number 6, you said you took hundreds of thousands, I assume that's hundreds of thousands of dollars in management fee and interest. That is not showing.
Number 6?
Yes. You took hundreds of thousands management fee. Are you contending that Mike and Ofer took hundreds of thousands of dollars in management fee?
Mike.
Mike did. Over what period of time are you contending he took this hundreds of thousands of dollars?
Since we established the LLCs.
And you agreed to it, did you not?
For what I know. For what I know.
Well, for what was, you agreed to the management fee that was reflected in all the financial statements you were provided.
Yes.
Have you filed your personal 2014 return yet in the U.S.?
No.
Why is that?
Because I'm not sure about the numbers.
Have you been informed that the bank that has the mortgage for Pattaya is asking for your personal returns?
Yes.
And you're not concerned with providing it?
I am, but I don't want to do a false tax return.
What concerns you? What do you believe is false about your tax return? What do you believe is false or what causes you concern?
I don't know yet. I'm checking.
So you don't have any specific number that causes you concern? You're just checking?
No.
Okay, well, why do you believe it might be a false return?
Because when I got the draft from Ofer, they were missing a lot of money income.
When did you receive a draft from Ofer?
I sent it to you a few months ago.
How much income do you believe was missing?
Maybe 130,000.
So you believe there's $130,000 in income missing off the...
Yes.
Okay, but how does that affect your personal statement? Your personal...
Because my K1 is wrong.
Okay, so you believe it's understated by how much?
I don't know yet. The only one I saw is 100 and something.
When you said, what were you looking at that made you believe that 100, you said 130?
I guess.
Okay, what were you looking at that made you believe $130,000 has been omitted and not properly reported by the company?
Because if you compare what Ofer sent me to accounting that Mike did, you will see a lot of money missing.
Is that for Pattaya?
For Glen Willow.
For Glen Willow. Okay. And exactly when did Ofer send you this information?
Maybe April, I sent it to you.
You produced the documents?
Excuse me?
You said
Yes,
you
yes,
sent
yes.
it to me.
Yes,
It's part of your
yes,
production.
Yes.
And you said when you compare what Ofer sent compared to what Mike sent, there's a difference.
Yes.
Okay. And have you inquired as to what makes up that difference?
No, I said I want to view the numbers to see why is the different.
Okay.
And then they blocked me.
Okay, but did you say, hey Mike, I think there's about $130,000 issue here. Can you explain it?
We're not talking since I caught him stealing money in December.
Well, you talked to him, he was in Israel a month or so ago, and you talked to him then, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you said you caught him stealing money. What do you mean you caught him stealing money?
He used the company's money, he admitted, he said sorry, and gave me some of it back.
When did he say this?
December.
In December. How much did he say he stole?
He said it's 4,000.
And what was the 4,000 for?
Hotels, restaurants, phone call, Israeli calls.
Did you have any phone calls charged to the company?
Yes.
Did the company pay for your...
For mine?
Yes. It paid for your cell phone?
When I came here to work, yes.
So you don't have any problem with the company paying for a cell phone if it's used for work?
No, it's Israeli cell phone using Ofer to contact his friend in Israel. It's not for using in the US.
Okay. And the hotels you said that were charged, where were the hotels?
Mike went to a wedding in Florida and he charged the credit card of the company for that.
Do you know if they performed any company business while they were in Florida?
They didn't. He admitted that he went to the wedding.
Yes, but did they do any company business while they were in
No.
Florida? Were you with them?
No.
Do you know if there's other properties that they can check up on when they're in Florida?
Yes, I know.
There are, right?
Yes.
Okay. And do you know whether or not, when they were in Florida for the wedding, they checked up on the properties that were in Florida at the time?
Yes, I know.
They did?
No, they didn't.
How do you know that?
Because the hotel was in Miami and we have no asset in Miami.
Okay. And you actually saw on the credit card where the hotel was in Miami?
No, Mike told me on the phone.
Okay. So you don't have any proof as you sit here today that there was a hotel charge that you were improperly charged for in Miami?
I have proof because he gave me back the money and admitted.
Okay. How did he pay the money back to you? Was it cash?
No, he just gave me credit.
Credit on the money you owe him?
Yes,
How much do you owe Mike right now?
he owe me.
Okay. How much does he owe you?
I don't know yet.
How much do you owe him?
Nothing.
Without applying any credit that you think you might be entitled to, how much do you owe Mike?
Nothing.
Nothing. Now, have you seen on any credit card this hotel that you're complaining about that was related to Miami? Have you seen that on any in writing anywhere?
I don't remember.
Did you raise that issue in an email to Mike?
No, we talked on the phone.
Okay. It wasn't important enough to raise in an email saying you charged this on a credit
We
card?
talked on the phone. He said sorry and I'll give you the money.
Did you complain about purchases of Subway sandwiches on the credit card?
Yes.
How much was that charge?
He admitted in 4,000, so I don't know how
A
much.
total of 4,000.
Yes.
And you were paid back that, right?
Not all of it.
Well, how much were you paid?
1,003 something.
When were you paid the 1,300 and
He
something?
gave me credit in December, maybe.
Where do we find this credit you were given?
It will show you the money program.
Okay. Do you have the money program?
Yes.
Okay. Is that one of the documents you produced?
Yes.
Okay, that shows this credit for $1,300?
Yes.
Do you happen to remember what? No. So was it? If you say it was a total of $4,000 improperly charged, right? And your share would be a third,
Yes.
and you were paid. You said $1,300.
Yes.
That would be about a third, wouldn't it?
No, because they got 2,000 each from the bank account. I should get 2,000. If I get 1,300 from him, it will be right. But he paid me for my money, from the company.
He paid you from the company.
Yes.
I thought he gave you credit.
Okay, I'm wrong. It's here.
So did he give you
I saw
credit?
it here. Look.
Well, that's not it.
Yeah, see the other one. I show you. 26.
That's 32,000.
So it's the other one. He gave 25 that they took, and another 1,000 something. He gave you 26 something.
Gave you 26,000.
Yes.
When was that? Was that cash he gave you?
Check for Marinette.
Okay. When you received this check for $358,767 reflected in Exhibit 3, remember that? How long did it take for you to text Ofer to say, that's not the full amount you owe me, you owe me more money?
I don't remember.
Did you
I think it was close to this.
like instantaneous?
What is it?
Well, within a matter of minutes after you received the check, you
I don't know
texted?
if it's minutes, but I think it was not so far from this.
Pretty close, right?
I think.
You had a pretty good grasp on what you were owed, right?
What is glass?
You knew what you were owed, right?
Here, I knew.
Yes.
Yes.
If Mike and Ofer voted for an increase in the management fee,
Yes.
are they allowed to do that?
It depends
Depends on what?
on how it's reasonable and what's the purpose.
And are you aware of any management fee, as you sit here today, that you believe is not reasonable?
Yeah, he said that we should pay 4%.
Yes.
We already get the 4%. I mean,
He's already getting 4%,
yes.
and you're okay with that?
With 4%, yes, we're okay.
Is there an amount above 4% that you believe they're receiving?
Yes.
Okay, how much is that?
They collect together much more, maybe 15, 16,000 a month.
15, 16,000 a month?
Yes.
What percentage is that?
I don't know, ask them.
I'm asking you.
I don't know. How can I tell you how many percent if I don't know how much is the rent?
You didn't look at the rent rolls when you had a chance?
No, I don't get any rent rolls.
Okay. Have you compared it to the financial statements that you were provided?
Compare what?
Well, receipts by the companies.
I can't,
Why?
because they mix the money between the entities.
Did you complain about that?
We are not talking.
Did you send him an email? I mean, you know how to send emails, right?
Yes, but since we are on trial, we are not communicating.
But you weren't talking when you sent this Exhibit 9 either, were you?
Yes, but then they didn't take 16,000. Now they take.
So now they're taking 16,000.
Yes.
As of when? As of this meeting?
I don't know. I saw yesterday only the bank statement
What bank statement did you see yesterday?
that you provided,
So you didn't review the bank statements we provided before yesterday?
right?
Why?
I didn't know.
You weren't interested in the bank statements you requested and we provided?
You
Don't ask that. Get into the work product.
I mean, did you want to calculate your damages or your damages you're claiming?
Don't answer that. It's work product.
As it relates to management fees, as you sit here today, what damages are you claiming?
If they allow each other management fee, that's damage a company and damage me.
Okay. Do you have an amount you're seeking?
Not yet.
Okay. When do you think you're going to have an amount that you'd be seeking for management fees?
When you provide me everything I asked, I will know.
Okay, but you've gotten everything you need to determine that number, don't you?
No?
You got the bank statements, don't you?
Only until July.
Okay. So have you calculated? You're saying you've only got bank statements through July? And it's your position there were no improper management fees paid prior to July?
Excuse me?
Through July of 2015, it's your
Yes.
testimony today
Yes.
that there were no improper management fees paid?
I don't know yet.
Well, you've had those bank statements. You've been
Only
able-
one day, yes. I can do it in one day.
Well, you've actually, they were produced a considerable time ago.
Not to me. I saw it yesterday.
You indicate in number 10, you say, I don't know anything about Florida Community Bank. Please provide me all information before the board meeting.
Mhm.
You didn't know, you weren't aware of any connection between Florida, Eagle Creek and Florida Community Bank?
I didn't know it's Florida Community Bank.
What bank did you believe Eagle Creek had the mortgage with?
I don't know.
Had you been provided with those documents before?
No?
You never provided with any documents concerning the loan that Eagle Creek took out?
No.
Did you ever ask for any of the documents regarding Eagle Creek loans?
No?
Did you indicate you were willing to pay or lose $300,000 in connection with the Eagle Creek business?
What do you mean?
Were you willing to lose up to $300,000 in connection with the Eagle Creek loans?
That I already paid?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's go to Exhibit 7, please, which is the petition. Can you look at, do you recognize that as the petition that was filed in this lawsuit?
Yes.
And you testified that you reviewed that prior to it being filed?
Yes.
And did you agree with the allegations in
Yes.
Exhibit 7?
Yes.
Can you turn to, let's look at paragraph 22 on page 5, please.
20,
22
Yes.
on page 5. It indicates in December 2014, Mr. Almog requested access to the online banking and credit card records for the companies, which were partially provided. You see that?
yes.
Which were provided and which were not provided?
I was provided to one bank of Palermo, Florida, and since 2010, the bank opened. I couldn't see everything.
Which bank accounts were you in December 2014
Yes.
when you requested access? Which banks and accounts were you allowed to access?
Allowed?
Yes, which could you access?
2014, I'm sorry, I talked about something else. I got access to the banks and the credit cards that I believe that there are more credit cards.
Okay, but you did get access to some credit card records. You just
Yes.
think there's more.
Yes,
So you think there's another account that you didn't have access to?
yes.
And is that the records you're referring to were not provided in paragraph 22? When you say they were partially provided, you mean you received the bank records, but you don't believe you received all the credit card records?
Yes,
And when you question the truck lease for the following two years, so the truck lease had been going on for 2 years prior to December 2014.
well.
The second sentence in paragraph 22 starts with Mr. Almog questions several transactions, including a prepayment of Mike Marachi's truck lease for the following 2 years.
Yes,
Okay, when you say the following 2 years, you mean he paid it for 2015 and 16?
yes.
And do you know how much that payment was?
I think it was 8,000.
And when were you first aware of that payment for that lease?
I guess in 2014, in December, when I see the banks.
And what was your response to Mike when you learned there was a truck lease?
What do you mean?
Well, did you ask him to pay it back?
In December?
Yes?
No, I started to audit the books because I saw something that shouldn't be here.
Okay. Like the truck lease.
Yes,
Was there something else that you thought shouldn't be there?
yes.
What was that?
All personal expenses.
The personal expenses we talked about a minute ago to her for, you said a hotel?
And restaurants.
When you say you saw these personal expenses for restaurants, what were you looking at?
What do you mean?
What documents were you looking at where you saw these personal expenses for
I
restaurants?
guess it was on the credit cards.
Okay. Is you believe on the credit cards it showed this hotel that was in Miami, you contend?
If it's the same credit card? I don't understand what you ask.
Yes. Is it the credit cards you were looking at in December 2014 where you discovered that there was a charge for a hotel in Miami, Florida?
I don't remember.
You don't remember where that was?
No.
Well, what other personal expenses did you note from the credit cards that you reviewed in December 2014?
I told you restaurant, Israeli phone, hotel, car expenses.
Okay, what hotel did you notice on the credit cards that you're complaining of?
I told you the hotel in Florida.
Okay, but you just said it wasn't on that credit card.
So maybe I don't understand what you ask.
What document would we look at if I wanted to try to verify this charge for a hotel in Florida? What document would I look at, sir?
Credit cards.
Okay. And that's the credit cards you were reviewing in December 2014?
I don't remember.
Okay, so you don't remember when you saw this charge for a hotel in Florida?
Yes, because the charge was a few months before, not on December.
You mentioned monthly management fee paid to Sharon Mizrachi. Do you see that?
Yes,
And how much was that monthly management fee?
800.
$800 a month?
Yes,
And how long had it been paid?
I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know.
Was that reflected in the financial statements you were provided?
I didn't get all the financial, but I saw it on the financial statement.
Okay.
That he's paying his wife.
When did you first see the $800 management fee?
I guess in December.
What were you looking at when you saw it?
What do you mean?
What
Where?
what did you look at when you saw the $800 management
I
fee?
guess the bank statement.
And you didn't see it on any other bank statements prior to December 2014?
I don't remember, no.
I mean, that $800 management fee had been paid for, what, 6 or 8 years?
Yes, but if he pays in check, I don't see. If it's a wire, then I'll see her name. Or ask him and he said it's her.
You asked him and he told you it was her.
I don't remember. I think it was a wire or something like this.
I think we're ready. Let's change the tape.
We are off the
You want
record
to
at
take a
11:16.
you want a quick break? Or